Okay. Are you set with recording your footage and everything?
Oh yeah, no, I'm already going.
Okay. Then I don't think anything is stopping us. Nothing is stopping us.
Except for our willpower.
We need our willpower.
Yes.
Except our shame.
That one comment that said lame still haunts me.
That's the best comment I've ever gotten in my life. It's so good. I don't know if we've talked about the comment before. Actually, on the podcast.
I don't know if we recorded an episode since that happened.
That's true, because it's been freaking 3 months since we recorded an episode. But
it's been a really long time.
So we don't record this podcast for other humans to like actually listen to with their ears. We record this podcast because I don't know. What's a funny way of putting this? I have a need to talk. And Ryan is kind enough to oblige and make quips.
The funniness of said quips is questionable.
The interesting,
but I'll make them anyways.
Yeah, the whole we don't make this podcast for people to actually listen to. We make it because we just like chatting. So our last episode was 4 months ago. I'm trying to see if I can. I don't remember which episode the comment was on. I'm just opening the last.
I think it was on the last one.
Was it on the last one?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pulling it up right now to see.
Unless you're a filthy, dirty, sexy liar.
I feel like I am gonna have to do so much cutting on this episode to make it like even listenable. Because I'm just trying to pull up a web page. Oh, okay. It was 3 episodes ago. It was episode 11. It was episode 11, and someone, Joe Cott 808084, commented lame. It was 7 months ago. The comment was 7 months. This is forever ago. Okay, so we've recorded at least 1 episode since then, so we've probably already talked about it. But
Joe is my hero.
We haven't recorded an episode for 4 months, so I don't know what we've ever talked about in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that someone thought our podcast was bad enough to warrant pushing the comment button and writing a 1-word review of our bad podcast.
That is pretty remarkable.
It brings so much happiness to me. It makes me so happy. It's so
We
funny.
have a hater making us legitimate.
I don't think it counts as a hater. Like, it's more like a disliker, you know? It's not like they've returned. It's not like they have continued to try to spread hate, you know? I don't think you can even classify it as a hater. Point. It's just a disgruntled bystander, a passersby who's like
disgruntled passersby
who's like, that's pretty dumb over there.
And I want to make it known to the universe.
I mean, it's very low stakes. All of our episodes have like 50 views, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Makes me so happy. Anyway, yeah. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing fine enough. I've just been hanging out. I recently, for one reason or another, got super into Halo.
Halo.
Yeah, so I've been playing through every Bungie Halo game because nothing that 343 did is canon, and I don't accept it as Halo. But instead is an abomination that masquerades in the corpse of Halo.
With puppet strings.
Yes.
So is that like is the Master Chief Collection all Bungie games? I know next to nothing about Halo.
So Bungie made Halo CE, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach.
Okay.
Then Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite were all 343, which is the company that Microsoft made because Bungie was done with their contract with Microsoft. And Microsoft was like, what? Halo makes a lot of money. but also it doesn't appeal to the Call of Duty boyos, so we gotta like change it. And they literally hired a bunch of people that hate Call of Duty or that hate Halo to make Halo games, which is why all the ones after Who's a What's It sucks. All the ones after Reach suck. Yeah.
Okay, so
but before them, they're all great.
What's your recent Halo experience been like? I mean, is this like a revisiting kind of thing? Like, are these games? Did you like grow up on the Halo games?
I had played all of them except for ODST. That's the one that I've never played through.
Okay.
Let me tell you, there's a reason that Halo got as popular as it did. Those games are fan-freaking-tastic. they're genuinely some of the best games I've ever played. It's Halo CE.
Yeah.
Masterpiece. If you haven't played it, I would highly recommend playing it and going through it blind if you can.
Isn't Combat Evolved it's not a shooter, right? Isn't it like a tactical, isn't it like a strategy game?
No. So they're all first person shooters.
They're all shooters. Okay. Isn't there some spin-off that was like a strategy game or something?
Yeah. So Halo Wars is an RTS.
Halo Wars. I don't know why I thought Combat Evolved was that, but okay.
I don't know either, but I'm offended. I'm not actually offended. But they're so freaking good. Have you played Halo CE?
I've never played a single Halo game in my entire life.
All right, here's what you need to do. You need to get Master Chief Collection.
Okay, I probably won't do this, but continue.
And you need to play through Halo. Okay. Genuinely some of the greatest games of our time, at least in my opinion. I think they are like beyond fantastic.
Tell me what makes Halo so great?
For starters, the gameplay is amazing.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. So, like super fun to like run around and shoot aliens, right? Second of all, the story is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the extensive lore.
Halo CE through Reach is one of my favorite video game stories of all time.
Awesome.
Bar none. Just because it's surprisingly emotional for a military sci-fi shooter, and I don't know, it's just like it feels meaningful and raw, like my masculinity.
I've definitely had someone, I don't remember if it was you or our old roommate Matt, who also played Halo. Like I remember he was getting back into Halo when Infinite came out, I think.
He's a big Halo boy.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was you or Matt, but one of you did rant to me about the story of Halo Reach or something, or I believe, and like
Halo Reach is a great story.
Telling me how good it is. I don't know if you remember
the overarching story is also great. But yeah, that was probably Matt, because I know he's big into Halo.
Okay.
And the environmental storytelling in those games, so freaking good. Like you wouldn't expect it, right? Because it's like, oh, it's Halo. It's like, run and gun, shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
But it's like the game actually has a very meaningful and worthwhile story, and beautiful environments, and like the whole 9 yards of what makes a good game good.
That's awesome. So what?
Yeah.
So did you say that you've recently like finished playing back through them, or are you currently playing through the Halo games? Like where are you at recently?
I'm currently playing through them. I just started Halo Reach, which is the last of the Bungie Halos.
The beginning of the end.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, Halo is so good. It's so dang good. Anybody who happens to be unfortunate enough to listen to this, play Halo. Play through it blind if you can. It's so good.
Okay, so me as someone who I would describe as couldn't be bothered to play Halo. There's just too many games, bro. I'm not saying there's too many. I'm not saying there's too many Halo games. I'm saying there's too many games, period, in the world. There's too many things for me to spend my time on, and I made the decision when I didn't grow up on Halo that I was like, I guess I don't really need to get into Halo. So if I were to, I know you said like buy the whole Master Chief Collection and play the whole thing. I don't think I will do that. So if you had to be like, okay, like if there was one game that I should play or one part of the Halo experience I should have before I die, what would you say it is?
Jeez. That's a tough one. Because I want to say the entire trilogy, Halo CE through Halo 3. But that's more than one game, I think.
Is Halo CE... I'm confused about how this makes a trilogy. Did it go Halo 1, Halo CE 2, 3 or something?
Halo CE is Halo 1. It stands for Halo Combat Evolved. It was the first first installment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They had a tagline, they had a subtitle in the first one because no one knew what Halo was.
Because it was like brand new. Do you even know the premise of Halo?
I know vaguely. So I know that there's stuff with the flood, and there's these alien races, and that are and Earth, and also there's a big ring in space, and I've definitely had it explained to me before, but clearly I don't know what I'm talking about.
Which is okay. But I mean that's kind of like the main gist of it. Basically, humanity is at war with an alien conglomerate, I guess is the word you would use, called the Covenant, and we're losing badly. It's like they're on a genocidal campaign against humanity. And so it follows the story of one soldier in that war.
Which is the Master Chief.
One super soldier, yes. Who is a super soldier cyborg dude. He's cool.
And then what happens?
Well, I can't tell you because I would be spoiling it. And I'm not going to do that because it's so good if you go through it blind without knowing what happens next.
Okay. I can appreciate that. There's certainly there's plenty of stories and things that I wish I could either have experienced blind the first time or wish I could experience blind again. So I can appreciate that. Like, I just checked, the Master Chief Collection regularly goes for $10 in like summer sales and stuff on Steam. And I bet just my laptop may be a literal piece of crap, but I bet it could run a game made in like 2004. So
probably.
So yeah, maybe sometime I'll.
The first way I tried to play it was through emulation on my computer, but apparently Xbox emulation on PC is like hot garbage at the moment. And so like I tried to play like anything beyond Halo CE was just like so slow and that it was impossible to play. Yeah. But then I remembered I had an Xbox One with the Master Chief Collection. I was like, oh, I can just do that. And so I did, and it's been a journey.
Awesome. I'm happy for you.
And I really hope you have the time to play it one day.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. It's
life-changing.
And it's the story of humanity, man.
I thought you said it was the story of one man.
But like all of humanity at the same time.
One man who can never die and has killed like 8 billion people probably.
Like the whole point
shooter games
is that he's not like better than any of the other Spartans. He's just lucky.
Oh yeah?
That's canon.
How did he get lucky?
He just is.
Like he just didn't die when
straight up he just gets good RNG.
He just gets good RNG. He rolled well when he was rolling his character.
No, straight up. That's canon.
So speaking of emulation, I've been on a little journey recently, which is one day I was like, man, why have I never gotten into 3DS emulation? And so I downloaded a 3DS emulator, and one of the main things that I got it for is I wanted to play the 5th Ace Attorney game, because
Uh-huh.
over like the summer and like over the last year, I guess, I've been playing through the Ace Attorney games on my phone, and I finished Ace Attorney 4, which I'd never played before. Like I'd played the, I don't know, have you played any Ace Attorney games? Phoenix Wright? Do you know
I
anything
have
about those
not.
games?
Are they good?
They're really good, honestly. And so the Phoenix Wright games are really fun. They're like, so the structure of the game, you're playing as a defense attorney, right? And so they're like visual novel puzzle games, sort of, right? Because
Right.
it's 90% just a visual novel that you're reading, and then it's like, okay, it opens up for like evidence collection and like talking to your friggin' defendant and stuff like that. And
It's like, oh, what piece of evidence do I bring up here?
yeah,
right?
and so the investigation stuff, it's the whole game is very linear and scripted, but it is like, okay, so sometimes it can be frustrating because it is like, okay, which pixel in the background do I have to click on to like find the piece of evidence that I don't know where it is, and or it's like, it's like, okay, I'm talking to someone, I need to present evidence, I don't freaking know. So I totally recommend like using a guide sometimes when you get stuck, because the story is really good. And the most satisfying part of the entire game is the courtroom, because you have like the investigation, you learn about the case and stuff, and then you go to court.
Objection.
Yeah. And so you'll have a defendant, or a witness. I mean, you'll have a witness testifying, and you have their testimony, and you can press them for more information on certain statements, or you can present contradicting evidence, right? And that like puzzle part of it is super fun and satisfying.
Yeah.
To solve that puzzle of being like, okay, I have internalized enough information about this case to like, I personally recognized like when the witness was lying. Like I know exactly how that is incorrect and how to prove it, which is super satisfying, right? And other times it's like, okay, cool. I tried to present what I thought was it. That wasn't it. I've like pressed the witness as much as I can. Screw it, I'm just gonna look up the guide, and it's like, present this thing on this statement, and you're like, how the frick would I have gotten that? So sometimes it is kind of frustrating. But the characters in the story are super fun. The games are split into multiple cases. Just start to finish, like independent stories, and then there's also like an overarching story usually across like an individual game. Like in the first game, oh man, I'm actually gonna forget like where the first game ends. But like, so you're playing as Phoenix Wright, defense attorney extraordinaire, or whatever the frick. Or I guess, but at first you're like a rookie in defense attorney, and the first real case after like the tutorial is your like mentor gets murdered, and it's like, well, shoot. Because like you do the tutorial case, and this like mentor defense attorney that you're working with, she's like she's like helping you and like helping you figure out how the game works and like what you should do, and then she gets murdered. And you have to solve her murder.
That's less than ideal.
And then like a huge overarching story for the whole like first trilogy, because there's two trilogies of games. A huge overarching story for the whole first trilogy is you learn a ton about her and her family, because her sister becomes like your assistant. Her sister, who is a spirit medium, and so she can.
So like a psychic.
She can in that she can basically do a seance and like invite a dead spirit like into her body, and they like possess her, and then you can like talk to them, kind of thing. And so
that's accepted in court.
Yeah. Well, that they
I just want to be clear.
I don't think you ever. I feel like maybe later in the game
that's accepted testimony.
I don't think it's not like accepted testimony. Like the biggest way that it's used is when Phoenix gets super stuck. Sometimes Maya, your assistant, will channel her sister Mia, because it's really funny. Their names are Maya and Mia. So Mia is the dead one who was your like mentor originally. So like she'll channel Mia sometimes to like help you out. But yeah, an overarching story is like you learn you like go to this traditional village where like these spirit mediums are from, and you learn a bunch about them and stuff, and that's cool. So so there's a lot of overarching stuff.
Sure.
And then there's a second trilogy of games where you play as an entirely different lawyer named Apollo Justice. So, because at that point, I mean, it makes sense why they did that, because at that point it's like Phoenix Wright is the most successful attorney like of all time. Like he's never lost a case, because if you lose a case, you just restart the game, I guess. So like in canon, he's never lost a case.
Let's go.
So and then you get to the fourth game, this like whole new trilogy, and it makes sense. You start over basically as a new junior lawyer, and you meet Phoenix Wright, and he's like, he is no longer an attorney. He's like washed up, basically. Oh. He's like playing piano in bars, and like isn't like lost his attorney's license. And you're like, holy frick, everybody. What happened?
If you're playing piano, you're washed up.
If you're playing piano in bars, yeah.
No, just at all.
So they do some cool stuff with that, where you learn about like what happened. Because that like time skip. It's also super funny because Apollo Justice's very first case, his mentor doesn't get murdered. His mentor is the murderer, and you prove that you're your own mentor. It was a good.
Phoenix Wright is the murderer?
No. So your Phoenix Wright has like nothing to do with the law anymore. Apollo Justice, you play as Apollo Justice, and you have this new mentor whose name is Gavin Clavier, which freaking means piano. So shut up. So he's like your mentor, and then through the course of like as you're like doing this first case, you realize that like he's connected, like he was at the scene of the crime like just before the murder happens. Like what the heck? And then eventually you prove that he was actually the murderer, which is a really cool. It was a pretty cool twist. But anyway, so I finished the fourth game, and those three games, the first four games are all on the DS. In like in Japan, they original before they came over. The first like 2 or 3 were on for the freaking Game Boy Advance. But then the 5th and 6th games are both on the 3DS, and I was like, how the frick? I'm never gonna play those. But I got an emulator, so I can play the 5th game eventually. Anyway, and I was like, man, you know what I kind of feel like playing? I kind of feel like playing like a Pokemon game. I haven't played Pokemon in ages, and so I was like, oh, let me just
Pokemon
like,
can be fun.
Yeah, I was like, let me get like Sun and Moon, like let me get one of like Ultra Sun or something. I downloaded like the Ultra Moon ROM, but only played it a little bit and then got bored and into other things. But I don't know how much experience you've had with the Pokemon games, but I kind of swore off the Pokemon games after X and Y, which was Gen 6. Because I got those games when I was in high school, and I was like, I'm the biggest Pokemon fan. And then I was like, actually, this game.
Self-impression.
I was like, actually, this game is bad, and it's for little babies. And
little thumb-sucking babies.
Yeah, I got into the. I mean, there's been discourse online for years and years that Pokemon sucks now, and because it does. I mean, like, look at Scarlet and Violet. They released an unfinished game. But I was I've been like anti Pokemon for ages, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just like go back and Nuzlocke the old games over and over, back when it was good, right? And in this recent like re-interest I've gotten into Pokemon, I've been watching I've been getting into a bunch of content and watching a bunch of stuff about the more recent games, and like competitive Pokemon and shiny hunting, and just plenty of people having a great time with Scarlet and Violet, even though they're bad. And I'm like, man, I feel like playing a current Pokemon game. So I refuse to play Scarlet and Violet, because even watching people have a great time with those games, I was like, there's so much wrong with these games and the way that they're designed and the way that they're made.
They should not be purchased for $60.
Yeah. There's a lot wrong with those games. But I have discovered Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was like a spin-off that I totally overlooked that I think I'm going to get because maybe that'll scratch my Pokemon itch. And it'll be fun to like play it's like 2 years old now, but like I've never played a Switch Pokemon game. So yeah. So
Same, I think, actually.
I think in like sometime this week I'm going to go buy Legends Arceus and see if it's any good. Because it looks really fun. With all the open worldness and like they changed a bunch of stuff to make the game more interesting. Like Pokemon
from other Pokemon
in the overworld and just making catching Pokemon like way less of a big deal, where you can just throw a Pokeball and that's it and you're done. And also like Monster Hunter mechanics, because you fight like big boss Pokemon and you have like dodge rolls and stuff, and I was like, I want to play Monster Hunter Pokemon. I love Monster Hunter.
I mean, honestly, that does sound fun.
Right? Yeah. So I'll report if I'm into Pokemon.
Bet.
Yeah. I also the funny thing, I think the thing a couple weeks ago that like first got me on my Pokemon binge recently was Pokedoku, which is Sudoku.
What is that?
It's you know when Wordle got huge during the pandemic, and then like 8 billion people were like, oh, I can make a Wordleification of like geography or like guess the song. You know, like there's so many websites now that are just like a daily puzzle thing like that, right? For like so many different genres and stuff. And so these people somebody made Pokedoku, it's freaking brilliant. It's so simple. It's just a 3x3 grid where each row and column is like a certain Pokemon type or a certain Pokemon trait. And then you just have to place, you just have to place a Pokemon that fits in each one, right? Like here's
and like you can't use like the same Pokemon twice or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, you've got 1,000 Pokemon to choose from, so it's more just like, can you think of a Pokemon that would fit here at all?
Right.
Like today's was like, okay, name a. This one's kind of easy actually. It was like, name a fighting type Pokemon that doesn't evolve. It's like, oh, okay. Throw or sock. Name a psychic Pokemon in the Alola region. It's stuff like that. So I've been doing Pokedoku like every day for 2 or 3 weeks, and it's been fun because I skipped like 2 or 3 Pokemon generations. I've been trying to like learn those Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would suck at that just because I don't know any Pokemon.
Yeah, I do a lot better with the older. Whenever it's like, okay, name a Galar Pokemon who's a fairy type, and I'm like, okay, well.
I don't know if I know any fairy types.
I know Galarian Weezing fits there, but I only know that because I lost that square on an earlier day and I have to look it up. Why is Galarian Weezing a fairy type? Like, okay, Weezing, the classic...
Look at it!
Weezing is a great Pokemon. It's classic. It's kind of revolting if you think about it for too long. I don't even know. Are they like floating heads? Like, I don't know. But... it's just this guy that likes to spit out toxic gas, and then they're like, okay, Galarian Weezing, he has like smokestacks that are also top hats, and he has a mustache. like the smokestacks are very.
I don't. That's one of the Pokemon design tropes I don't like. Is just the ones where it's like, yeah, this is just a person.
Well, I don't like the Pokemon design trope, which is, hey, well, yeah, this is just a person is bad, but also, like, this is a Pokemon that we've already made, but now it has facial hair is also super funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the fact it has a mustache is what makes it a fairy type, but, like, I remember when Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, like...
Wait, hang on. Explain your logic there. Why does having a mustache make it a fairy type?
I don't know. That's the only explanation I can think of, is what I'm saying. And also because it has a big
I thought
hat
that was
that's
like
a
your
smokestack.
rule of thumb. Like, yeah, if it has a mustache, it's
But
a
like
fairy type.
the other thing is like, Diglett and Dugtrio, also Gen 1, and they made Alolan,
Yeah.
Diglett, and Dugtrio, which are they just have hair, and that's the only difference.
Yep.
And that gives them like the steel type or something because they have hair now.
Because their hair is platinum blonde.
It's so good. I love it. Oh my gosh. Actually, it looks like Alolan Diglett literally just has like a couple of sprigs of hair on top of its head. Like it has like 3 hairs. And that's the difference between normal Diglett and Alolan Diglett. But then the Dugtrio has like the flowing blonde locks, and it's so funny.
Yeah, I hate almost all of the Alolan regional variants.
Yeah,
They all look so stupid to me.
I remember like literally when I was like in high school, it was like my junior year, senior year when Sun and Moon were coming out, and were like they like they either announced some of the first Pokemon or they leaked that, or so they were leaked, and I thought I was funny, and I literally like made memes like making fun of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And like even though I've been like learning a bunch of, mostly so I can play Pokedoku, I've been learning a bunch of Galarian Pokemon and Paldean Pokemon and Alolan Pokemon, these most recent regions, and some of them are very good, and like I was too much on the hate train to realize that like it's fine, like Pokemon is fine, but there are some Pokemon that are just so stupid.
No, it's for real. Like Vanilla.
So dumb. Okay, Vanillice is freaking dope. Okay, I will die on that hill. I love Vanillice. Like
Vanillice is trash.
Vanillux, and it's so funny. Well, Unova.
They are trash.
Well, but because Unova is based on New York, and so for whatever reason they were like, we're gonna have basically all of the Pokemon are. Well, I guess it makes sense. Like a lot of Pokemon are like things you would see in a city, and a lot of them are like. I feel like they have a lot of object Pokemon in Unova, like freaking like Kling Clang. That's just like gears, right, and stuff like that.
Or Klefki, which is literally just a set of keys.
Klefki is Kalos, and also Klefki is great for Pokedoku because he's like one of the only Steel Fairy types. But then they made the Tinkaton line, so that's also Steel Fairy. But Klefki is silly. But Vanillice and Vanillux are freaking great. Like, okay, yes, it's just ice cream, but it's just that's all it needs to be. It's like, let's make a new ice type. Let's just make it ice cream.
So dumb.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Literally, the bald eagle one was not made by an American, but you know what was made by an American?
No, the
ice cream cone.
The bald eagle freaking Braviary is dumb because I'm sick of them making a normal flying type line of birds in like every other generation. Like,
okay, but I think they're cool. Like Staraptor is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Staraptor is cool. Staraptor is cool.
I love Staraptor.
I love that he has like emo hair.
Yeah, and that he also becomes like fighting type.
No, I think he's.
No, he doesn't. He just learns the fighting type moves.
Yeah. I think he can like learn close combat, or something like that. Because I feel like I distinctly remember
that's what it is.
My Staraptor as a kid, but yeah. But again, coming from my Pokedoku perspective, which is like basically all of how I engage with Pokemon these days, and also I watch some competitive content, which is fun.
Yeah, competitive Pokemon's cool.
Competitive Pokemon's way deeper than I ever gave it credit for, but
oh yeah.
It bugs me when it's like, okay, I need to think of a normal flying type. Like, there's 6 different bird lines that are all just different birds.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
I mean, honestly, though, that sounds like a skill issue. I gotta be honest. I think you just need to get good.
I just need to get good and accept the fact that we're going to have a line of birds, normal flying type birds, every 4 seconds.
Right.
At least in Kalos, they're fire flying. You have like Fletchinder and you have whatever the frick the other ones are, Talonflame. Like at least they have a second type. They're not just normal flying for the 5th time. You know?
Yeah. But I like my normal flying types. You can't Can't change my mind.
I remember when I was a kid, it always bugged me that it went Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot. When I was like, it should go. Like, the longer name should be the more powerful Pokemon.
Exactly.
Pidgeotto's name.
All I remember is like from the anime, just hearing Ash go Pidgeotto and being like, "Yeah, that's the most powerful.
That's the most powerful bird, obviously."
And then it's not, and I'm like, who thinks Pidgeot and is like, yeah, that one Pidgey ought to be the most strongest.
It supersedes Pidgeotto, which contains its name within it. You know, Pidgeotto. Yeah. Obviously, if you're gonna put an O on the end, that just means you evolved. You don't take off the O,
right?
Freak. Game freak.
Stupid game designers. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to manage a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
It's silly
Nintendo
though because they kind of don't. I mean,
yeah. I said that as a joke, but like, it do be kind of true.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are the highest-selling Pokemon games of all time.
I feel like that sentiment's becoming true with like everything though. That like nobody knows how to manage multi-billion-dollar franchises.
It's true, yeah. You just become once you become too big to fail. That just means you're failing, but you still make gangbusters.
Succeeding,
but
you're successfully failing.
Everything you make is still a failure.
Yeah, like Halo.
Yeah,
totally botched by Microsoft. Still made a lot of money. Enough to make like a multi-billion-dollar TV show.
Isn't 343 like dissolved or something? Didn't like something happen in the last couple years to 343?
There were a ton of layoffs because they screwed up Infinite so bad.
Dang.
But they still exist.
When was the last Halo game?
Halo Infinite came out.
Halo Infinite was most recent. That was like 2022, right?
Something like that. I couldn't tell you exactly.
Is it 2023?
Because I'm not a Microsoft shill and don't know it off the top of my head.
Halo Infinite release. It came out in 2021.
Okay. They screwed up so much with that game, though. Kind of sad. Because it could have been good, but it wasn't. Because Microsoft sucks. We hate Microsoft here.
Why do we hate Halo Infinite? All I know about Infinite is that they made it open world because that was what everyone and their mom was doing after Breath of the Wild made $1 million.
Right. So that's one thing. The other thing is that they made like a bunch of promises and then didn't follow through on any of those promises. Like they were like, oh, we'll bring back split screen co-op in the campaign. And then they never did that, even though they delayed the game by like a year and a half. And then it was supposed to be. Then it became a live service model out of nowhere.
I forgot.
And they released it, and it was like the game like doesn't work at all. Like the servers don't work. The multiplayer doesn't work. The game just looks bad. But you know what did work? The microtransaction store, flawless, no issues. And you know what makes that even funnier? It's like, oh yeah, like a store page, not that difficult. Makes sense that it would work fine. But they couldn't even separate out multiplayer game mode playlists because of UI issues. That was their excuse. And then their store is working just fine. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
And then they were like, yeah, you know, we're gonna have like this is like the next 10 years of Halo. It's gonna be awesome. And then like season 1 got extended to be like 6 to 9 months. And then the same thing with season 2. It's like there's just like no content, and it's a huge mess. And everybody in charge of it, like they blew it so bad.
Wow. Does anyone still play Halo Infinite?
Probably. Because apparently the gameplay could be pretty fun. I don't think it's very Halo, and like I don't think I would enjoy it that much. But like kudos to other people if they like it. And, you know, more power to them for enjoying something that I refuse to enjoy.
That's fair.
Big Daddy Microsoft just screwed the pooch. Because Halo 4 sucked, and then Halo 5 sucked even worse, and then now Halo Infinite sucks the mostest.
But the original, so Halo 4 onwards was 343.
Yes.
What a coincidence! What a coincidence!
No, it's literally because Microsoft specifically looked for game developers that hated Halo.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because they were like, no, we got to appeal to a wider audience. We got to make it more like Call of Duty. That was their logic there.
Okay.
And so Halo became not Halo. And then all the Halo fans were like, boo, this sucks. But then like more people played it. But then now there's like two halves of the fan base are like, yeah, this is awesome. But like you guys like suck at releasing your games. And then the other half is like, you guys suck at releasing your games and also make them like they were. And so it's like there is no way to make everybody happy at this point. I feel like
poor Halo.
I have feelings on this, especially after playing through the Bungie titles.
Yeah,
I have many feelings about the modern Halos because I used to think that they were like pretty fun. Like I had a lot of fun playing through Halo 4 and playing Halo 5. Like I put lots of time into those games, but then I just went through the OGs again, and I was like, wow. The new ones have, like, nothing on them.
So, I mean, when you talk about trying to make them have wider mass appeal and being more Call of Duty-like, I don't know, what's that? My first thought is that would be mostly, like, gameplay differences, maybe. Right? Okay, so
that's exactly what it is.
How's the gameplay degraded?
The way the gun feel works is different. You can sprint in the newer games, which is something Halo never had. You have aim down sight mechanics for every gun. Just like a bunch of little things. And then it was also during the era of like the brown and gray military shooter. So like they made it look, you know, brown and gray and ugly, because that's what Call of Duty was. So like just a bunch of stuff like that to make it feel more fast paced, like Call of Duty.
Interesting. Screw them.
Yeah, no, screw Microsoft. But Bungie, they were cool. Then they made Destiny, which was super fun, and then Destiny 2, which was very predatory. So they kind of started sucking too.
This is a whole world of gaming I've never gotten into. Like I've never been in the Xbox side of the world, you know? I've never.
Yeah.
My older brother
I totally
got
get.
a GameCube in like 2001 or 3 or whenever, and that like set my whole family down the Nintendo path, right?
No, valid.
Like I feel like that happens to a lot of people. Maybe, I don't know. But so like I'd only ever even like interact with an Xbox at like a friend's houses. So I've never, there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same true with PlayStation. There's just so many like series and parts of gaming. And also I just don't like, and now these days I'm a PC gamer with a Switch, you know. I don't have a beefy console. I have a 7-year-old console that's still not dead against all odds. The Switch is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're still making games for it.
Yeah, I forget how old the Switch is.
The Switch
honestly.
is so old. And also, the Switch is so old. It's like 2 generations old, and on top of that, they're like, I've heard online that like the Switch 2 or whatever the successor to the Switch is going to be like announced and start moving forward like next year. And
oh shoot,
despite that, Nintendo is still pumping out first party titles. Like they are not. Yeah. They are not. I don't know what the word I'm thinking for is. They are not
slowing down.
Yeah, they're not retiring the Switch. You know, they're just cooking. And it's great being a Nintendo boy because they make, on occasion, they make pretty good games that do way more with the hardware than they should be able to.
That should be possible. Yeah.
And then I just, you know, sit back and am on the sidelines of like Elden Ring discourse for 2 years because
Yeah.
you know,
No,
because I just
feel
don't
that.
have anything that can run Elden Ring.
Same. I really haven't touched my Xbox One until recently because I wanted to play Halo, and that's the only thing I'm going to use it for.
I've also felt myself change a lot in like what kind of games I play in the last couple of years. Where
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, you get into school and then, or I guess you get into college and you have like way too much time because no one does their homework or studies, and then you get
Yeah.
married and you get a job and it's like I'm just more value small single player experiences. Not small in that like
Right.
I play 2 hour games, but like the games that are quick to beat, but like things I can just pick up and put down and don't require all that much investment. And I almost play nothing.
Right.
I like never play anything multiplayer like ever.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm pretty much the same way at this point.
Yeah.
I actually don't know when the last time I played a multiplayer title was.
Well, that means we gotta have a Smash night. Whoa.
Bet. I guess I have played Mario Kart recently,
Classic.
kind of, in the last couple months.
The other thing is that I am like my wife and I recently moved, and that's been crazy, and I'm working a new job, and that's been crazy. And what little time I
Yeah.
do have for myself, I'm freaking grinding at video essays, bro.
Oh yeah,
It's so much
because you're an OG baller.
Yeah, I gotta tell you about. So I've been working on a video essay about Miraculous Ladybug, which we've talked about many times on this podcast.
That's with Ladybug and Cat Noir, right?
As you can tell from the title of the show, Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. And I like over the summer I had a bunch of time and I was able to, or I guess like I watched the entire show again, and I
Yeah.
took a copious amount of notes, a whole heap of notes, and then I started the scripting process, and I kind of
Yeah.
got burnt out.
Solid.
And then I also like I kind of took a break from that, and I wrote like 80% of an EP. I wrote a bunch of music, and then I kind of got burnt out finishing that. So I've got like
Yeah.
these two projects just like in the chambers, locked and loaded, and ready to, if I just could put the time into them. But instead, I'm taking a break by doing an entirely different video essay.
My boy.
Yeah. But and the funny thing is that so I'm working on a video essay about a webcomic called Demon, because it's been on my list of like things I've wanted to make videos about, and also it's not very long, and I thought it was something that I could do pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I started it like a week or two ago, and I'm almost done with the script. So, which is fun, because since I've been like doing notes and scripts for so long, it'll be fun to like, okay, if I feel like doing a script again, I can work on Miraculous. And if I feel like editing, I've got this new project I can edit, when before I like didn't have anything that was filling that slot. So it's fun to have multiple projects in that way. So
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Just gonna release like a 1 or 2 hour video before the next time I release a 6 hour video.
Yeah, that's lightweight stuff right there. Excuse me. I have residual shenanigans from a cold I got over the weekend, which is why I'm coughing so much. So I apologize for offending your earlobes. It's fine. Like I feel fine. It's just annoying for anybody in the vicinity.
Yo, okay, this is kind of a tangent, but that's all this podcast is. Speaking of feeling a little bit sick,
yeah.
Last night, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, Ryan has a cat, and it's the cutest
I do.
thing. I almost died. in its presence. It's so cute.
He did.
I'm
It's
so
true.
in love with it. It's such a freaking cute. I've wanted a cat for so long. I love cats.
Cats are the best.
And so I loved being with your cat and chilling with your cat and watching your cat
Yeah.
literally do anything because it's adorable.
I feel that.
By the end of the night, I was so allergied up, bro. Like my eyes were
Really?
itching, my throat was like coughing, like I
No.
was not feeling good. And
I'm sorry.
I was so sad because like I know I'm allergic to cats. I've known this whole time. I've known that I was cursed with the gift with these I knew I was cursed with a love for cats and also being allergic to cats.
Yeah.
But for years I've just been holding out hope that I could get a cat because I want a cat so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And after we like played with your cat for a couple friggin' hours, my wife and I were like, we want a cat so bad, but we can't do it. It'll kill us.
No, you can.
No, it'll kill me.
Listen. I'm allergic to cats as well. But taking a 24-hour allergy pill every day has made it pretty much a non-issue for me.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's enough.
You might also be able to get your allergy cured.
We might have to do. There's a couple options. We might do like a test run where I really beef up on allergy meds, and then we come play with your cat and see what that does.
Yeah.
The other option is we just like get a freaking rabbit, which are adorable and cuddly, but they don't.
Or a rat.
No, we already have one of those.
No, that's a mouse. They're different.
There was a mouse in our apartment. Okay, that was actually crazy. So we got a trap because I saw a mouse in our apartment. So we went to.
So we're talking about like the physical restraining kind, not the person kind.
There's one thing that I saw a pest in our house, and I knew the one thing that would pull them out of the woodwork was a femboy, just right there. So I got a trap from Home Depot because where else would you get traps? They frolic there, right?
Taiwan.
And I'm
in Thailand. Sorry,
man. I don't know what the opinion on, like, what are we gonna get canceled for saying trap by the 40 people who watch us? I don't know.
I don't think
know
so.
enough.
I feel like that's a pretty like it's just a meme
Just
term,
a meme? Okay.
right?
I don't know enough about what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be.
It's okay. No one listens to this podcast
funny.
except for my little brother, and he doesn't know what it means.
I'm sorry, Jason's little brother.
What was I gonna say? So we set up a trap, and it was actually kind of terrifying. Literally, like 10 minutes later, we heard the freaking snap, and it got the sucker. It was so fast. Like that stupid mouse.
It's not a very smart little mouse, is he?
That mouse was like, "Please, someone just give me peanut butter. Like I'm so hungry for peanut butter."
It's like, my prayers have been answered. Yes.
It's like, I've been waiting with bated breath for peanut butter to materialize in the vicinity of the baseboards of this apartment. It caught the sucker instantly.
I had heard the myths and legends.
It was so funny. I was like, bro, what? I don't know if there's any other mice. Hopefully it was just the one. But if it is more, I'm like, bro,
what works?
The tiniest bit of peanut butter and they cannot resist is so funny.
Yeah, that is freaking good. So I went to this. I just looked over at my water bottle.
Okay.
I went to like this fair a while ago.
Okay.
And there's this lady selling stickers of dinosaurs that were also mushrooms, which is like awesome.
Whoa, that's dope.
No, yeah, super cool. Like, love it. So I got it, but all the like color has like wiped off
like faded,
of it, so it's just like a white silhouette. and it kind of like the neck and head looks a bit sus. If I'm being honest, I looked over and saw that, and I don't think I can unsee that.
It's
now.
dubious what the original sticker might have been.
Right. It is not clear that it was a mushroom dinosaur.
It might lead to a couple double takes.
Right.
Well, you know what you have to do? Get a Sharpie and draw a mushroom dinosaur in there.
I mean, honestly,
so you
that's not a terrible idea.
Don't leave it up to chance.
But I kind of also want to leave it up to chance.
As a conversation piece, just
right.
Leave it on the desk until someone says something. Viewers at home, if you pay $5 a month, then you can experience this show in full video, and then you can watch. You can stare at Ryan's water bottle in the background. We'll set up a camera.
Wait, really? That's a thing we offer?
No.
Oh, never mind. It'd be cool though. We could make that a thing.
Let's not.
If you buy Spotify Premium today.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of editing on this one.
Wait, why? Why, Jason? What?
Because my funny gland needs like 45 seconds to recharge. Actually, more like 10 minutes, to be honest.
Your funny gland.
My joke.
Your joke boat.
My joke boat. Gosh, I love joke boat, dude. It's so
joke
bad.
Joke boat is so good.
Oh, man.
We love joke boat here.
Well...
Have you ever played Peggle?
Peggle? I have not played Peggle. I have...
Do you want to play Peggle?
Seen people who are surprisingly into Peggle, which I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that people actually played Peggle until, like, a year ago when I kept seeing, like, streamers and content creators, like, playing Peggle, and it looks like a pretty good time, actually.
No, straight up. I recently got into this game called Pegglin.
I've heard of Pegglin. It's like
it's like
roguelike Peggle, right?
Yes. And it's also a good time.
Yeah.
And I just kind of sat here and zoned out, staring at a ball bouncing around for 8 minutes.
Yo, I'm so freaking excited for the full edit.
It wasn't actually 8 minutes, but...
I'm so excited for the full edit of this episode, because I've just been like...
You should be.
I've just been like staring into space, looking at my laptop wallpaper while I talk, because I can't multitask. I forget
that you're not like recording a game, so that you do totally just stare off into space, don't you?
I feel I don't know if I've actually tried to play a game at the same time, but I could not do what you do. I could not not comment on what I'm doing, like hold a separate conversation. And also there'd be clapping
takes a
in
lot
the background.
of effort.
I don't know.
And you know what? That effort is worth you hitting subscribe and that bell.
It's worth it for us to give our audience some Subway Surfers to watch while we ramble.
Right. Should I play Subway Surfers?
No.
That might get our views up though.
Okay, play Subway Surfers for 60 minutes while we record an episode. It's a vertical format game, so I'll just put it up like 3 times. Actually, play Subway Surfers
3 times.
Play Subway Surfers for 3 hours, and then we'll cut it and put them all up. Or play 3 Subway Surfers at the same time.
Wait, that would be kind of fun though. we honestly, the sad thing is, it probably would boost our view count, because you remember that time that I played BTD 6?
Yeah, and that's like our most viewed episode.
One of our most viewed episodes.
It's also like the shortest, so there's a couple of different lessons we could take from that.
We need to make our episodes longer and exclusively play Campaign for North Africa.
Oh,
do you know that board game, Campaign for North Africa?
For North Africa, yeah. That's the one where like there's rules for like how fast your gasoline evaporates and stuff like that. Like, And the creator is like, we have never played a full game of this, and no one ever will.
It's a game that I would very much like to own and play a full game of.
Own? I was not under the
Yes.
impression that game ever got published or printed in real life. I just always assumed
Hasn't
you
it?
could like. There's no way that game got published.
Wait, hang on. Stop staring into space for a minute and look it up. I'm
Okay,
curious
BGG
now.
campaign
it has to
for
actually be a
North
thing.
Africa. I've just always assumed, like, whenever I've seen pictures of people playing it, it looks pretty
Yeah.
print and play. And that's always made 8 to 10 players. You need a minimum of 8 people. 60,000 minutes playing time. And yet the weight is only 4.74 out of 5. Oh. Okay,
Wait,
okay.
like the physical, like, weight, like the heftiness of it?
No, complexity. That's like a complexity
okay.
rating. The campaign for North Africa, $350 for a new copy. It must have been published. It must have been like actually printed it.
I would love to own that game.
1978. Published by Simulations Publications Inc. in 1978.
Actually, you know what? I want to make a game worse than Campaign for North Africa.
That doesn't sound fun.
It sounds actually really fun.
Wikipedia says it's 2 to 10 players. So 2 people. Come on, we got this. They also say the playing time is up to 1,500 hours, but Board Game Geek said it was up to 10,000 hours. So who's right, huh?
Okay.
The box set. This game.
They
was
probably
actually
each like played it for an hour and were like, yeah, this would probably take about this much time.
Let me do some extrapolation.
Okay. If I were to get Campaign for North Africa.
No, I would not play it with you.
Why? Okay, first of all, rude, you didn't even let me finish asking. Second of all, how did you know what I was going to ask? And third of all, why?
Okay. I would play Campaign for North Africa like once just to say that I did, right? Like I would be like, no, not all the way through.
Yes.
Like one session.
Then what's the point?
I'm looking at pictures. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh wow, this is actually beautiful looking. This is a giant map with like so many pieces on it. Wow, that's very pretty. And calculators
you wanna play it now,
and
right?
tweezers. They have tweezers on the table for moving the pieces.
Makes you want to play the game, right, Jason?
Okay. Have I told you about Aeon Trespass Odyssey, the $300 board game that I bought on Kickstarter?
Oh, maybe you have.
I
But
bought
it's been
it.
a while.
It's Kickstarter, so I bought it in February, and I hope to get it in October.
This October?
Yeah, like next month. But
Oh, that's exciting.
yeah, that should fulfill all my complex board game needs, bro. I don't know if I need
Until I get Campaign for North Africa.
until you get it's just gonna tide me over until you get Campaign for North Africa.
That's right.
That's why I got Aeon Trespass Odyssey. It's something to fill the hole in my life, the hole in my.
The Campaign for North Africa shaped hole.
No, the shape of the hole is like 6 hours of my life every day that I'm just sitting and staring at the ceiling, being like, "What should I do? If only I had a game I could play with Ryan for."
That you could replace those 6 hours with more staring at the ceiling, but instead waiting for somebody to finish their turn.
If you work like 40 hours a week, how many years would it take you to work 10,000 hours? 5 years? Okay. So if we
Yeah, that checks out.
I would be astounded if we could get together
Wait.
more often than like once every 2 weeks for like 3 hours. So at that rate, how long would it take us to play? Let's see.
So that's like 25 sessions a year. 25 3-hour sessions.
It's
so
only
that's
like 75 hours a year. 10,000 divided by 75 is 133 years. So, I've really been wondering what I should do with my
for the next
Friday evenings for the next 100
years.
years. So let me know when you buy that. In the meantime, I'll be playing
Noted.
on trespass. Holy frick! There's 6 rule books. No, there's a historical background book. There's rules of play. There's land game rules of play. Air and logistic game rules of play. And then there's 3 booklets that are just charts and tables. Oh, that's so dope.
I really want this game, Jason.
The box set comes with, it comes with those 6 books, 1,600 counters, 5 like 34-inch by 23-inch hex grid maps to piece together to form a 34-inch by 115-inch board, 12 sheets, 3 plastic counter storage trays, and 1 6-sided die. You can play all of Campaign for North Africa with 1 die.
That's amazing.
That is an elegant system right there.
They really cut down the bloat.
Oh my gosh.
I want this game so bad, Jason.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yes, I do.
You're lying.
I do. No, I'm not. I want this game so bad, and I want.
Can you imagine
people to
how
play
cool
with
it would
me.
be if you're like having family game night and you open the closet and you're like, okay, should we play Uno? Should we play Catan? And it's like, it's just there. Like, you don't have to like suggest it because it's not like a family night game, but just the fact that it's always there on the shelf for people to see.
I'm gonna suggest this to my parents to see if they want to get it.
Holy freak.
Because if they don't, I will disown them. That's a joke. I won't disown my parents.
Oh. This is good. I'm glad we recorded an episode. It's fun.
Same. Because I'd forgotten about Campaign for North Africa. I'm glad to be reminded of my dreams.
You're the one who brought it up. You're the one who was like, do you know this game?
It's been so long since I thought about it. I forgot.
Man. Okay. Well, I don't know. Are we done? Was there a one-liner somewhere in the Campaign for North Africa stuff that I can cut off at?
I want it. I don't know. Leave a comment down below if this is the end of the episode. We'll take your feedback.
Okay.